All right, cool. Fourth storyline. Okay, this is an interesting one. So this is has to do with Jim Ross. So I'm gonna play a clip here, and this is before the Stone Cold match, the Intercontinental Title Tournament match. And Jim Ross says later on in the show he has a big announcement to wait. But okay, so we're here to listen to Jim Ross make an announcement, and this has to do with Diesel and Razor Ramon, which is weird because as we just saw before we did our review, those guys are on WCW Nitro every week with the NWO storyline, and they have taken over. But here's what Jim Ross has to say.
You know, Kevin, I've been in this great sport over 20 years, and right here tonight, I am going to break the biggest story of my broadcasting career. Certainly the biggest story of the year in the WWF. This is going to be shocking. We'll have it all right here tonight.
He says he's going to make the biggest announcement of his career later tonight. All right, so later on in the show, Mankind is doing a squash match, and we hear Jim Ross finally make his big announcement. So this is during Mankind's match.
Well, no, it's not, Kevin. The breaking story we talked about early in the program that I really believe will be the biggest story of the year in the World Wrestling Federation is this. Big Daddy Cool Diesel and the bad guy, Razor Ramon, are on their way back to the World Wrestling Federation. I have that on very good authority from some very reliable sources.
Very reliable sources. Unbelievable news. Kevin Kelly says that is unbelievable news. He seems a little skeptical, but okay.
That would be Mankind, Alex the Pug.
What an incredible story that would be. I don't know about Kevin Kelly selling this here, but God, Jim Ross is doing some Tony Schiavone here, some AEW Tony Schiavone, where he'll just say whatever the hell they ask him to say, I guess, right? So that's the storyline here. Let me take this TV off. So Jim Ross promoting that Diesel and Razor Ramon are going to come back. So reviews. I have reviews on this. This completely blew my fucking mind, because how the hell is Razor Ramon and Diesel supposed to come back to the WWF when they're on WCW? Vlad gave this a thumbs up. Robert gave this a thumbs up. I guess you guys think this is an exciting idea or something. Well, we do have some comments, so I'll read through your comments that you gave. So you guys obviously know what happens in this. So Vlad says, I'm going to give a thumbs up for the announcement. So I guess you thought it was kind of interesting at the time. But a thumbs down for what actually ended up happening. And Robert said, thumbs up if I reviewed this at the time of the announcement, but 2 thumbs down reviewing it retrospectively. So as we all know, they brought in a Diesel fake and a Razor Ramon fake, just some sort of lookalikes. Not even, I don't know if they looked alike really, but they just wore their costumes. And was Glenn
Kane
Jacobs?
was, yeah.
Yes. Glenn Jacobs was Diesel.
Okay. All right. Well, if anyone wants to make comments about this, I know I read your comments, but if you have any extra comments to make, now's the time. Let's go with Vlad first.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it was obviously at the time a shocking thing for him to say, because I think everybody was questioning it. Even people in both companies were like, wait, what? Even people at WCW were like, wait, are those guys leaving? They just got here. People didn't really understand what was going on. But yeah, it ended up being pretty awful for the WWF. It made them look pretty petty and pretty stupid, to be honest. So yeah, but at that time it was very interesting. Like everybody was like, "Whoa, what?" But yeah, I'll leave it if Robert has any comments.
Robert, do you have any comments? Because I have a comment.
Pretty much what Vlad said. I mean, it was a really bad idea by WWF. They were called WWF at that time, but very, very bad idea. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. But yeah, if I was, at that time hearing that, I would have been like, oh, what? How is that gonna work? And of course, that was all just a plan for us to tune in, right? But yeah, what ended up happening, horrible.
Well, I gave this and our rating system blew my mind, which is our highest possible rating on our Malapert Smark review system, which I will pull up again. It's all the way at the top. plus 10, mind completely blown, which honestly, I think it's a little bit of a sarcastic review. Looking back on it, obviously it was kind of crazy to hear, what the hell, but it's also kind of stupid, really. It feels like WWF is really grasping at straws.
You're absolutely right.
Trying to come up with something to combat the fucking the role.
Yeah, they were getting their ass kicked pretty
They were
royally
getting their ass kicked, and you know the ideas they're coming up with are just they're struggling, man. I mean, last week what we saw. What were they in the creative room, and somebody come up with the idea, hey, what if Yokozuna goes back into Jim Cornette's stable? Like, okay, maybe that's okay, but God, you're so far off the mark compared to WCW. You know what I mean? And this is just like a desperate kind of grab for attention. When you see what was going on WCW's program, it was so top-notch and top level compared to this. This, like, WCW seemed like the more professional show at this point.
Which is amazing. Because
yes.
Which is amazing in retrospect as well. But yeah, you're right.